The Avs superstars can't do it every night, but they can do it often enough. Avs win over the Carolina Hurricanes 6-4. It's funny how things seem to balance themselves out sometimes. You see the Avs get shut out by Connor Hellebuyck playing unbelievable in net, and then in their next game, they get Carolina's backup in Spencer Martin, who does not play particularly well. That's not to take anything away from the Avs' best players. They were unbelievably good, at least in the second and third periods of this game. They earned this win. But it turns out in hockey, there's just a lot of things you can't necessarily control. Something the Avs can control is how they play, and in the first period, they were bad. They looked bad, they played bad, the results were bad. The only player who didn't play poorly in the first period was Alexander Georgiev, and he's the reason the Avs had a chance to win this game in the first place. Carolina easily could have put 2, 3, 4 goals in the first period, but Georgiev held them to only 1. Now, through the rest of the game, I think he was just good enough, not great, but that's good enough. In any case, the first period was a poor one for the skaters, and that eventually caught up to them. Ludwig tracking back for a puck here. He's clearly winning the race. He even has enough time to get his head up and check what his options are, and he still gets into this corner and simply just loses a puck battle far too easily. That was the first problem. Second problem is the Avs have multiple players asleep on the backside of this play. You have your 2 men marked by your defenseman. You have Kiviranta as the high forward up the wall, but Parker Kelly does not effectively put himself in the passing lane towards the center of the ice, so he's ineffective entirely. And then on the backside, you also have LOC late to get back into this play and help cover that backside. So you've created a monumental number of mistakes in about 1.5 seconds, and that's how a puck ends up in the back of your net. It's tough. Some goals, so many bad things stack up that it's impossible to really point out one quick fix. You just need a lot of things to be better. Honestly, I think the Avs should feel a little bit fortunate to only get out of that period down by 1. Yes, it was good play from Georgiev, but they also got away with some stuff too. And it wasn't all bad. The penalty kill managed to kill 2 penalties in that period, so that counts for something. So you get into the second period, and while the Avs played so much better and were objectively the better team in the second period by a lot, it did not start out that way. The puck is going to come out high and then end up ricocheting off into the corner. Now, the Avs are going to lose this puck battle. That's fine. That's something that happens. You're not going to win them all. But again, it's the play behind the puck battle that I start to get confused by. You have Prishchapov covering up the wall. All right, that's fine. You have the backside forward and Tynan covering anything on the backside and out high. Okay, great. You have your men marked 1, 2, 3. Definitively, this is Girard's man for the moment, and initially this is fine, okay? Girard wants to protect the middle of the ice. He does not want to give anything up the wall. But then something happens, a switch off here where Josh Manson loses a stick. First of all, that makes this tough. But as this switch is happening, Girard needs to recognize, what was he doing earlier? Defending the middle of the ice. Okay, great. He now needs to defend the middle of the ice from both of these players. He needs to step up and in and position himself better to put himself between the Canes skaters and the objective. He fails to do that, and he ends up getting caught behind the play and in no man's land. Yeah, you'd probably like a rotation over from Tynan too, but that's an AHL forward. You're asking a lot there, and because of the poor positioning, it ends up in the back of the Avs net. The Avs were just struggling positionally defensively through a good portion of this game. They've tightened up a lot of things, actually. I think through 15 games, it's starting to step towards the right direction, but they still have some things to work on. So the Avs in an all too familiar hole here. You expected the game to get tough. And the Avs didn't do themselves any favors by taking even more penalties. But sometimes the best players, the situation almost doesn't even matter. They're going to find a way to do what they have to do and get the Avs going in the right direction and ultimately win a hockey game. That's Cale Makar for you. Avs on the penalty kill here. Carolina working in their own zone, but they're not really doing anything effective. This right here initially is good job keeping it to the perimeter. And then the seam pass gets attempted, but is read and intercepted by Cale Makar. Beautiful defensive work right there. The rest of this is just a man possessed. He gets up the ice. He's got legs. He's going full bore. He's not going to be able to get all the way in, so he says, F it. I'm going to kick it old school and just unleash a missile at Spencer Martin, and this missile finds its target. You could just feel the little bit of extra anger on that shot from Cale, probably built up from the start of this season as a whole. The Avs know they're a better team than their record shows, and they want to be that team. Yes, even with the limitations of their injuries and their lineup, they're a really good hockey team at times. They're not going to be able to do it consistently with this lineup, but Cale Makar certainly feels like they should be a better team, and he's showing why. You could just feel it from Cale Makar after that goal, not just the anger and the frustration, but the fact that the man just decided the Avs were not going to lose this hockey game. Less than 2 minutes later, the Avs' other superstar jumps on board and helps create the game-tying goal. This is Avalanche hockey right here. They get on you fast, the puck coming out. Girard actually doesn't make a great play with that puck, but it's okay. You're allowed to get good bounces sometimes too. It's fair enough. And as soon as the Avs collect this, they're gone. It's a 3-on-2 clean. Malinsky knows what to do when Nathan MacKinnon's on the ice. You just get that guy the puck. MacKinnon collects it, finds a beautiful little play here. He's probably trying to slip at 5-hole. He does want to score here, I'm sure, but he knows if he plays the puck this way, he's likely to get a good quality rebound out of it too. That's exactly what he gets, and Malinsky, the man coming down the middle to find it, for a defenseman, does a great job on his backhand side to finish this play. It's incredible how one goal ends up in the back of the net and all of a sudden the entire team starts making it look easy. The momentum shifts in hockey are crazy. And I know they're the best players in the world, but it's human nature, right? When you're struggling to score, it just wears on you. It gets to you mentally. It does. It's something that happens. And when the puck's going in, you just feel like you can do no wrong. You're trying stuff and it's working and you are just a better team. So the Avs dug themselves out of the hole, and honestly, they do have an issue coming up here, but really they never look back. And I'll get into both sides of this shortly here. Let me show you the goal that the Avs fall behind from here. Nothing particularly fancy about this break-in for Carolina here. They take their sweet time with it, but it's a power play. They're allowed to do what they want. Pretty typical stuff, nothing fancy. Now, this is where Carolina gets a lucky bounce back. This is intended to go cross-ice, here, there, whatever. They're looking long ways to get this pass through. Instead, it ricochets right into the skates of the man directly in front of Svechnikov, and he's somehow able to corral it. I mean, that's good talent, but also a lot of luck there. So the Avs have to adjust on the fly, and you can see Kiviranta just get caught. He's checking the high forwards as he's getting blown by on his backside, and he's not going to be there to help defend. Makar, you also want to see him do a better job of intercepting this pass, but he's expecting the backside help from Kiviranta. It's not there, and that pass, yeah, what is your goalie supposed to do? Taking a penalty there and getting a little bit unfortunate is supposed to be crushing for the Avs. It's supposed to be a situation where they worked really hard to get back into this game, but then Carolina kind of puts them down again. And I don't like the penalty. I don't like that the penalty kill failed on their job to kill that penalty kill either. It's part of the game. The Avs need to do that better. They're not going to be able to do this where they keep coming back very often. We've seen it this year. It's just not an easy thing to do. This team was just not going to take no for an answer. They deserve all the credit in the world for continuing to battle and ultimately getting rewarded for that battle. If you want a true superstar goal, this one is it. Carolina going to lose possession pretty quickly here in the neutral zone as the Avs are able to collect, and Lecky's able to get just enough control of this and do the thing that you're supposed to do. Get the puck to space near Nathan MacKinnon and get out of the way. MacKinnon picks up this puck. Well, I guess picking it up is being generous, but he battles for this puck. He just keeps working and working and working until he earns it, and he earns it to create a 2-on-1 with him and Mikko Rantanen. And look, 2-on-1s are hard to defend. I get it. You have a million different things to look at. Do you take the passer? Do you take the shooter? Do you take what? This is Shane Gostisbehere, and he does not play it well. I understand he's trying to take the pass away here. The problem is, where are you on the ice? Gostisbehere sitting in the slot area, or the middle of the ice. I guess it's the high slot, really. They're not deep enough. But he's sitting in the middle of the ice, and he actively moves himself out of the middle of the ice, giving maybe the best player on the planet a clear lane to the net from the middle. If you're out wide, I understand this move from Gostisbehere, but he's not. So MacKinnon now has a grade A chance with a clear lane. That's crazy bad defense, but also Nathan MacKinnon's just better. Maybe Gostisbehere is right. When Nathan MacKinnon's coming at you, you should just get out of the way because you're not stopping him. The science is pretty simple here, and it's something we've been talking a lot about this season. Obviously, that's an unbelievable individual effort from MacKinnon, but what happens when you see the Avs' best players play well? Nathan MacKinnon, 7 shots on goal. Mikko Rantanen, 4 shots on goal. Cale Makar, 4 shots on goal. And then you round out that top line, not a superstar, but Artturi Lehkonen, 5 shots on goal. The Avs superstars finally realized it needed to be them to shoot the puck if they're going to score goals. So it's already been a banger of a period, even if the goal scoring is only 1 in the Avs' favor, but it was only getting better from here. This is the most I've seen the Avs feed off of the energy from a quality stretch of play so far this season, and they pick up the game-leading goal about a minute later. Hard to sugarcoat the start of this play. It's a nice pass from Mikko. McKinnon's going to find Lehkonen on the backside, and this should be a goal every single time. 100 out of 100. If you are an NHL player, you should score this goal. Lecky does not. He misses a wide open net, completely biffs it, and the Avs don't have a goal. Now, whatever happened tonight, things were looking out for the Colorado Avalanche because they get the puck back. They immediately get a shot from out high that Lecky is now battling in front and finds a tip-on to put it in the net, redeems himself. Lehkonen making that play a lot harder than it has to be, but sometimes the puck don't lie and it ends up in the back of the net. There was a challenge for goalie interference on this play too. It was ultimately ruled to not be goalie interference. I don't know, man. It's goalie interference. Like I say, flip a coin and the Avs won this one. And importantly, they don't back off the gas there. They draw a power play opportunity and they're able to capitalize on said opportunity. So the 5-on-3 from the challenge penalty does technically expire, but the Avs are still able to make this work. Now, initially, Mikko gets a shot blocked. I don't love that, but I don't mind Mikko shooting on the power play, and as he recollects, the block shot is not able to recover, which gives Mikko tons of time and space to walk into, and this is Mikko's bread and butter right here. Right face-off dot, that dude is lethal. If you are looking for the purest form of Mikko Rantanen, that goal right there is it. He's so unbelievably raw talented, and that's why he can be so frustrating when he's not using those skills at times. He's using them. It's great. It makes the Avs' life better. A 5-goal explosion in the second period for the Avs would ultimately set up that win, and it felt good. It felt like a team that finally said enough was enough. We're better than this, and we're going to go out and do it. And again, they rely almost entirely on their stars right now because they don't have the bodies in their forward core. But it's a team that feels like they are starting to turn the corner. I don't know if this game means they've fully turned the corner, but you've just beat one of the best teams in the league, and you looked pretty darn good doing it. I am getting a little bit ahead of myself, though. The Canes do score 1 goal in the third period, which you can see here. I'm going to keep this one short. Carolina does a bunch of in-zone cycling to create a not very high-quality shot that Devon Toews even blocks with his stick. Unfortunately, he doesn't fully block it, so it trickles toward the net, and Georgiev still has to react and make a save on it, which he does, but Sam Girard has been out-muscled in front, and you know the story from there. Here's the funny thing about bounces and puck breaks. When you're playing well and you're earning your own goals, the bounces that go against you aren't nearly as devastating because guess what? The Avs are still leading after that goal breaks against them. That's why you score 5. And the Avs would manage the game from there. I do think this third period was a little bit too passive, but again, this is where their lineup comes into play. Let's be honest. You look at McKinnon and Rantanen as a line, and while they are some of the best players in the world, they aren't your best defensive forward line. That is for sure. So you're playing some of your depth guys that are managing the puck, getting pucks out, and being very safe about things. They're just not a lineup that's going to create a lot of offense from those depth players right now. So they manage the third period well. They don't give up all that much that's particularly dangerous, and then they're able to dump one into the empty net thanks to Rantanen. And that gets you to your 6-4 final. It gets you to a game that makes me feel a lot better about the Avs. Not that I felt bad before, but it's nice to be reminded that they are, in fact, capable of hanging with the best teams in the league, even with this lineup. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and man, we are watching some of the best players ever on this Avs team.